friends, and welcome back to the Sword of Truth podcast, the chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a long-awaited craft brew on the side. I'm Jade, and I'm here with Nate and Aaron.
Hello!
Hello!
On this episode, we are cracking open Chapter 1 of Soul of Fire.
Boom. Cracked in fucking half.
Cracked it.
Cracked it.
You are
Wide
so
open.
much better at that intro than I am. Just fucking every word. So good.
Just fuck every word. That's how you get it done, babe.
Hey, real quick, can you repeat that? What did you just say?
You just fuck every word.
Okay,
fuck it
that's
right
what
down.
I thought you said. That was a clarifying what. Not, I didn't hear you what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tried to make love to every
Bang
word
it down.
in the Harry Potter ones. I really wanted to take my time.
Yeah, well, the listeners are going to tell us what they like better. So, you like to be loved gentle or you want to be fucked hard? Let us know. Anyways, after that little moment of truth, I think that we should have our own little moment of truth. I think at the start of every episode, we should have a little moment here so that we could have some time to bullshit about anything we might want to talk about before the beginning of the episode.
I've got one. Go
ahead, Nate.
I think I'm okay with you going first because I think we might have the same thing.
That was incredible.
Who is our HR representative?
Me.
I think it's Jade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we did vote that.
CEO
Why did we vote
and
that?
HR,
Well,
CFO,
yeah.
and all of the
Because
letters.
we decided it would be best if I headed that department up because it's just less paperwork.
Yeah, gonna be a lot less paperwork. All right, well, yeah, that's out there now, and famously, you can't edit audio, so let us know. Send write to us in your journey books. I'm looking forward to those emails.
Yeah, send them through.
Yeah,
From lawyers, preferably? I'm not sure what's necessary.
Not from lawyers.
No.
We don't want them from lawyers.
unless you happen to be a lawyer, then we want to hear from you, but in your off hours, not billable hours. Yeah. I'm just gonna echo what we said in the front cover. I'm happy to be back. I know a lot of times I will get frustrated with Richard and Kahlan, but the happiness I felt that I didn't realize until I was like halfway through this chapter, I'm just like, yeah, but they're back.
But they're back.
Like, I might not agree with them all the time, but like, I'd ride with them. Like, we could go places together.
It's
like,
interesting you use that specific phrase.
that I would ride them.
Yeah. Well, that's not what you said the
Wow.
first time.
That's
It's
what he
not?
meant.
That's what he meant,
That's what he
though.
meant.
It was that Freudian slip getting
Yeah.
through there.
I
You're not
Freudian
the
slip
only
into
one riding.
Freudian slip into a lot of things.
Wow.
But no,
Okay.
I seriously, I am happy to see the words Richard and Kahlan on paper in front of me. I'm very excited to do this, especially because we've been away for so long and we dove into a couple other books. I had kind of forgotten where we left off. And so I went back, looked through our notes, listened to those last few episodes, and I was like, oh, fuck, like there's some overhanging shit that we need to get to.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get to it.
And I do think that does lead into something we've talked about on our Patreon a few times. I think that we are going to do an episode over on Patreon, just like, let's go over everything that we'd like.
Ooh, some
Shorthand.
recaps.
Yeah, a recap of where we are, important overhanging notes that we have maybe made that we want to keep track of for later books. Because it's going to take so long to get to the end.
Yeah.
We got to have a couple of those, the really annoying things, like clip shows.
Clip
right?
shows. Yep.
Yeah. Everyone fucking hates a clip show, but
Yeah.
we got to have them sometimes just to catch you up.
It's
Hey,
like the one thing that I'm good at.
Like Lost. You know how
Yeah, oh,
I didn't
yeah.
watch that fucking show, but you couldn't watch the last season without the thing at the bottom, right? Where it scrolled and like reminded you of the shit that you couldn't remember from the first
What?
season. That's why I never watched it after it ended, because I was like, this is too much.
That
It's
was built into the show?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Again,
Wow.
didn't watch it, but it was confusing. I know that it was confusing.
Can you imagine if our show ends up getting that complicated? Like, yeah, I
That's
know we're
the
talking about
yarn.
this in book
That's why the
15, but
yarn.
look at this here in book too.
That's why you got to stay over here, because you're going to get trapped over there. You're going to get tangled up. You need to move your chair over.
Yarn sold separately.
It is my dream that at some point someone sends us a red yarn layout of basically like anytime we've said words like shaft and somehow found our hidden message that we have put into these episodes. And if you go back and listen to all of them 2 or 3 times, I think you guys will pick up on it, because I think you guys are smart, because only dumb people aren't going to find that hidden message.
Wow.
And I think you guys are smart, so I think you'll find it. But yeah, you got to listen a couple times.
Well, with that, I think that was our moment of truth.
Absolutely.
And we are going to go ahead and just chug along into this episode. But real quick, I think that we need to do like the fastest recap in the West.
I will time you.
No, fucking don't. Just to make sure that we are all reminded of where we are at the beginning of this book at the very least, because
I like it.
I fucking didn't when I started reading.
Yeah.
So last we saw our heroes, they were hot off ending the plague. Richard had just come back from the dead to do so. They celebrated by getting married in the Mud People village with visits from all our old favorites. And we know that there was something fucky happening with the chimes, and that is what allowed Kahlan to bring her man back and not have him die immediately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there.
Yes.
That was pretty quick, right?
I'm caught up. I remember everything now.
Fully
Great.
caught up. Also want to say, again, interesting turn of phrase there, Jade.
What?
That's not the only thing that's been fucky. I'm sorry. I'm too excited. I have to burst.
You're
I have
exci-
to do it.
Oh, wow.
I gotta say it.
Wow.
Richard and Kahlan finally fucked.
They did it.
Yeah.
They done did it. That is where we open our chapter with Kahlan's open legs.
Cigarette.
Okay.
Cigarette.
Kahlan and Richard are all tangled up in the spirit house after consummating their marriage all night.
What was that?
All night.
That is a specific measurement of time. I
They
don't
were
know if you knew
doing
that.
it.
All night.
Yeah.
All night.
Yeah, it's actually only 6 hours, but boy, does it feel like all night.
All night.
Yeah.
Well, they left kind of early, right?
Yeah. Well,
So-
look, there's also times when the body won't go when you want to, so you can't do it for 8 straight hours.
Put a pin in that, because I mean we're gonna kind of see a little bit of that, I think, in this coming chapter.
That
coming.
is-
Not coming though.
Want to add though, that's canon that Richard does not tire.
I don't know. We're gonna get into it.
all
We're gonna
night,
get into it.
Maybe you
wait.
add a couple of O's to it and make it 8 hours or whatever, because I don't know. I'm just saying, we've been saying for like 4 books that these
just
two
saying, I've
have
been
to do
saying.
the deed.
Richard's canon doesn't tire.
Eh.
That's all. I don't have anything
I
else.
think this is a poem. Are we
That's-
writing a poem right now?
I think we could. Hey, you guys want to write a poem about Richard's
You just
dick?
want to write a poem about Richard
Richard's
coming?
dick?
Okay. So I think it needs to be mentioned that these two they're in the village church.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nowhere else apparently that they could have shacked up for the night. We find out not too long from here. There are empty buildings around, but they are fucking in the spirit house.
Yeah, please desecrate our holy place.
Yeah. Well,
That's the place that the Mud People set them up to go into. Like, you guys
It's
are going to do
wild,
it
I
tonight
feel like.
in our, like you said, in our church. Not the empty building across the road that Richard helped us learn how to build and like make well.
Yeah.
No.
We're not going to set you up like a honeymoon suite or anything, even though we knew you were coming.
Jeez. That took me entirely too long.
Apparently, they set up
Good
the
for you.
spirit house, which I guess, I mean, maybe they were just like, you know what? The ancestors,
mm-hmm.
they deserve a show.
I think they wanted to watch. That is literally a thought I had, Jade. I'm glad you brought that up. I truly think, because they set them up to go there.
And the ancestors have like ordained this,
Yeah.
right? They're saying it's fine.
Yeah.
So like
I think
they
the
deserve to see a
ancestors-
little bit of ass.
I think they're a little freaky.
That used to be a thing where they would like watch the bride and groom
Oh, yeah.
consummate like right after the wedding just to make
you
sure
mean,
that
like,
that was done.
In England, where they would have like hundreds of people watching the king and the queen fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking wild.
These are just ghosts. so it's not even that weird.
Well, it could be, though. As
It
long as
could
they keep
be,
to
but-
themselves. Because the
if
last
they
thing
talk,
you want,
then it's weird.
well, I'll say the last thing you want when you're fucking is all of a sudden like a cold little poke somewhere.
Not always. This is not always the last thing you want.
I'm
That's all-
I'm comfortable going on record saying the last thing I would ever want.
I'm just saying, don't knock it till you try it, you know?
I only want to go on record as to say my only issue with what was said is the surprise aspect of it. Whatever
Get
you want to
consent.
do, you should do. Yeah, I don't like the surprise thing.
Oh, if it's a consent thing, then yeah, I mean
Yeah,
maybe.
fucking
You
go
know,
for it.
Just announce yourselves in the beginning.
Yeah.
Let us know what might happen, and then,
Yeah.
you know, do what you're going to
I'm
do.
willing to try anything 8 to 12 times before
Mhm.
I
Make a
pass
decision.
judgment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Well, despite all the jokes about it, it is very nice to see them actually able to fuck physically in the real world.
Mhm.
Get a little sweaty. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting a long time.
4
These
fucking
are the
books.
main characters.
Yeah. It's crazy
The
that
main
it's taken
characters-
4 fucking books.
Who got together at the end of book 1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're now at the start of book 5.
And found out they could fuck at the end of book 1
Yeah.
and nobody would die.
Yeah, which is a great circumstances around learning that you can fuck.
Yeah.
If I learned that, I'm fucking right away.
That's what I'm saying. There is absolutely
Yeah.
no way that we would have seen each other for more than 10 minutes after finding out that knowledge and being like, we'll get married, but first, we're going to do this right now.
hey, I'm
Especially when
I'm
we're
a-
battling to the death every other fucking day. Are
Oh,
you
yeah.
joking?
Yeah.
a big advocate of try before you buy. Is all I'm saying.
Wow. I wasn't even going. I was just like, you know, I want to do this with you so badly. And you're just like, no, we got a sample.
I'm not saying that would be the driving emotion in the moment, but what I'm saying is that I wouldn't take the same route as Richard and Kahlan is saying, no, let's wait until after we're married to actually fuck.
Yeah.
No, if I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you, that's something I would kind of like to know about before,
Yeah.
you know. Now, you and I think a lot the same, so that really wasn't an issue.
I just don't. I don't understand the mentality. Neither one of these people is religious. You know, sometimes there's a reason to wait till marriage if you think that, you know, your God is going to be like, oh, don't like that, and mad at you because you did
Yeah,
But
but when
these
the
people-
pews are soaked in Scotch guard.
it. But these people don't believe that, right?
I don't
It's
think
just
so.
like some weird, like, her
Mm.
honor thing, but you're going to marry her anyways. And, like, I just think it's stupid. And they should have just done it.
Yes, I fully agree. I think as far as the mud people, and I mean we're making fun a little bit of the fact that it's their church, but I think from the mud people's perspective, this is the best building we have to offer you.
Well,
So you're gonna get the best we have. And if that happens to be our, you know, our holy place or whatever, that's fine. But we're giving you as much as we can.
and I also did acknowledge just a second ago that I hadn't thought about this while I was writing my notes, but the fact that like the spirit people, the ancestors have like ordained the wedding and like, you know, the spirit house is very important to them. So it's like symbolic letting them fuck in the spirit house, as weird as it is.
Well, and it's not that they were in the spirit house, it's that they're still in the spirit house. I think it was just like, hey, checkout's at 10, it's 1. What are you guys doing?
To be
It's
fair,
time to go.
checkout time is bullshit.
Well, that too.
I should be able to sleep in a lot longer than I have, than I'm able to. I don't want to pack my things this early, especially if it's our first time having sex. No, I'm lazing around. I'm eating.
Yeah.
We're
Bask
doing
in the
it
glow.
again in the morning.
Yeah.
I paid for this room.
Yeah. Just really lay there in it.
Leave me
Bask in
alone.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing could ruin something like that.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Except Richard being distracted, which he is a lot this morning. It is wild how distractible Richard is the morning after wedding his wife and fucking her for the first time.
I mean, we all know what that is.
He's tired.
Post-cum clarity.
Oh, that's sad.
Why?
Because that's usually a sad thing, right?
No.
Well,
okay.
Well, for some people, it's sad.
Depends.
Depends what happened right before the post
I'm just saying,
clarity.
Yeah, that's really.
If you're like actively not wanting to fuck again, and you're saying it is post nut clarity, that makes me feel like that's a bad thing.
Oh yeah, I'm
No.
on Kahlan's side here.
Let me clarify. Richard and Kahlan have been waiting for a long time to fuck, and now they've gotten the opportunity to do so. They did so all night long, I believe it's pronounced.
That was close.
Now we're good.
Yeah.
It's close. But so now, satisfied, arguably, Kahlan, and we'll get into it a little bit, not totally satisfied. Like maybe she wants a little bit more. But Richard at this point has nutted. So his brain immediately is going to go, oh shit, I got bills to pay. There are quests we need to take. I got to pick my sword back up. All of these things are hitting Richard's brain right now because they just got done fucking. That's what Richard is going through.
Oh yeah.
Pain in the ass for sure, but
Yeah.
also totally real.
Yeah, I say I understand where Richard's coming from, but I'm still on Kahlan's side. Like, hey, post that clarity, sure. But also, guess what else you hear after post that clarity? Hey, want to do that again? Yeah,
Also,
okay.
Richard has had sex more than Kahlan by a lot, and she's had sex with him one time in the real world, one time in the spirit world, and no other sex. So
That's true.
So she's like, this is fun. Let's fucking do it.
You guys, we can do this whenever we
All
want.
the time.
Fuck yeah.
Do it again. Let's do it again. And, you know, she doesn't, maybe she doesn't know about some limitations of the male body, but, you know, also like, hey, this is a fun trick I just learned. Let's keep fucking doing the trick. But Richard is distracted by chickens.
Mm-hmm.
So, no. He's bothered. He's like, why are the chickens so fucking bothered? And Kahlan is like, she's got jokes. She's like, maybe it's Zed. He's bothering them instead of us. Maybe we kept him up all night.
Maybe they also want some seed.
Or maybe it's just the fucking kids. I don't know. Put your dick in me.
She could not care less right now. I don't fucking know, Richard.
Now, and this is the tough part for me because, as we all know, like, I always am telling people, like, you need to ask yourself more often, what's bothering the chickens? That's something people need to know. I'm on record saying that. If you go back and listen to other episodes, I've said it frequently, and I'm definitely not going to cut that clip and go edit it and repost a bunch of episodes after this.
Oh, I swear to God, you better not. No.
But I think it's one of those things where, like, to your point and to Richard's side here, I think it's kind of like the Woods Guide in him coming out of, like, chickens aren't supposed to make this much noise.
He's snapping back to it.
Yeah, back to reality. Hopefully gravity stays where it is.
Ugh.
But I do see where, like, the triggers are causing him to not focus on, not to keep his eyes on the playing field.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Richard, keep your eyes on the fucking playing field, my guy. Famously, you guys don't have all the time in the world to do this, so get it in literally when you can.
One more, dude. One more.
You got one more in you.
One distraction. Okay, no big deal. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll keep moving. We'll keep moving along. The party still going on outside. People are still out there making noise. The drums are still going. The wedding was simple, but it was super special. We know this. There's lots of exposition in this chapter, so we're not going to get into a lot of that bullshit.
It would have been nice if they had it in Dahara. It would have been super fancy, but they enjoyed their wedding the way it was very, very much.
And it's probably going to become the stuff of Mud People legends. So they're going to sing songs about them, and it's going to be fucking awesome. That's better anyways, right?
Do you think that they would talk about it, like, while they're drinking beer?
I don't know. They might sing like a shanty.
I have changed my life goal. I want to do something that makes people sing shanties about me possibly fucking. I'm okay with that. It can be other things. If anyone wants to write a shanty about me doing things, you let me know and I approve.
Aaron, there's a banjo, several guitars, and a cajon less than 10 feet from where you're sitting right now.
I don't want to be rude to Jade, but I have not stopped making eye contact with you since I've said what I said. I'm talking to someone specifically right now.
I'm picking up on that right now.
Jade. No, I'm just, it's him.
I'm not part of this. Anyways, I think it's time for us to have a beer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go to a beer break, and we'll be back right after this.
Nate Areno.
Yo.
What are we drinking today?
Today we are drinking Tart Cherry from Oakstown Brewery, Granville, Michigan.
It's a local brew.
Local brew?
It is. And I would love to give you a whole bunch of neat little facts and cool things, but that's all we got.
Yeah.
I know that this particular beer is 5.9%, and that this specific batch was brewed on August 3rd, and that's about it.
Well, we went there. We got it in a growler.
Yeah.
It was good.
We went there. We got one. I'm really sorry, guys. Spoiler alert. We have already had this. We're not taking our first sips of this, but it was so good. We got a whole growler of it to drink on the podcast.
And I'm not upset about that. Oakstown is a new brewery, new-ish. There was an older brewery, I believe a beer we have had on the podcast from Osgood Brewing that I personally did not care for. But it's a new brewery now. They also serve some bomb-ass pizza that I will be getting again.
Yeah, a Chicago deep dish style spinach and artichoke pizza was wildly fantastic.
But their beer I like a lot more than the old place. The old place was very earthy kind of flavors. Think fall. I don't know. It was just they had a vibe. This is fruity and crispy, and this is great.
I feel like I can smell cherry when I taste it. I can smell when I taste. I don't know if you know that.
There's things.
Yeah, not what I meant to say though.
Open your eyes when you take a drink once.
No, like I smell cherry. I feel like with a lot of these flavors, sometimes you don't get like a good smell out of it, and it smells delicious and it tastes delicious. And I'm just gonna fire off from the fucking hip right now. I'm giving this 9 out of 10 cherries. It's a little sour. I think that's the only thing keeping it from a 10. I can't drink it all day.
I will also say it's pretty because it's interesting.
Yes.
In our glasses, me and Nate have these like cylindrical octopus glasses.
Regular rocks glasses,
It looks like tan in our cups. In Aaron's like bell cup, it's very red and beautiful.
It looks like a rosé almost.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like I'm drinking. I feel like a fancy boy drinking this.
Is this really the champagne of beers? I don't know whose thing that was, so I apologize.
I'll say I'll give it an 8.5.
8.5.
Sticky cherry.
We are right fucking there. I'm giving it a 9 all day long. It's the tart. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I could drink this all day long, but I think every time I take a sip, it's just that little tiny, maybe too sour for my taste, but this is fucking great.
Look, I mean, clarify. Could drink it physically. Can drink this all day. Gonna have an upset tummy though.
Like
we're gonna have an upset tummy.
Leaving to go camping in 2 days.
And where are you gonna be at?
Going to be refilling this growler with that before we leave.
Oh, this is 100%. Great campground beer.
Yes.
Hanging around a fire, feet in the water. I don't know if you guys got water where you're going.
Good.
Where are you going? Tell me exact location.
Anyway. Going tubing, can't take glass on the tubes. But we can take glass to the rest of this chapter. So we're going to continue drinking this, and we'll be back with that in just a moment. And we are back.
I love everything about this.
It was like, just be natural. You don't have to do that radio DJ voice. And she's like, I got this. And then that happened. It was so good.
Do you think that was radio DJ voice? Because I don't think it was.
I think it was pretty close.
Wow.
If you would have said what you said and then said and then had a cool, weird nickname, probably something with like you and Puck, Like, and we're back with the owner and the kitty.
I thought it was just goofy. I wasn't wow. Okay. All right. I do have the cat, though.
Coming at you on the ones and twos.
All right. Okay. Focus. We have to focus. We
Yeah,
are back.
people just fucked.
Just fucked. We are back with the last half of the first chapter of SoF. Richard is here with Kahlan in the spirit house, all tangled up. And he is offering food up from Zed. But Tava bread is not what Kahlan wants in her mouth right now.
No, absolutely not.
Richard keeps talking until Kahlan starts making out with him, until he stops and brings up Zed.
Yes.
Again.
Yes. Which I've always found women love when you bring up your grandpa while they're trying to make out with you.
Yeah.
I found that's a real power move. As in, in not a good way. Like, you're clearly saying, hey, I'm done with sexy time. I'm talking about my grandpappy.
Grandpappy just totally fucking threw me.
It just...
See, you don't feel like having sex anymore, do you?
No. To be fair, I didn't before either.
Wow.
I went over the chapter a few times, and the first time I was like, she's coming on a little strong, he's just acting normal in the morning. But then on the other hand, I was like, no, they're naked, tangled up together, and she's right here on him.
Yeah, this has to be immediately post coitus, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I think.
And he's like, chickens.
Yeah.
Tava bread. Zed. And she's like, dick?
I definitely got the vibe that this is after the most recent session. Because, I think this is morning, right? We're talking morning. So it's not like this is 3 a.m. I think we're talking this is 7 a.m. Again, they've been going all night. Okay.
Yeah.
All night.
Yeah. Oh, I think you nailed it.
I think you did.
That was it right there.
And maybe they took a nap, right? We just are not explicitly told that. We're just... We come in and they're awake and there's no sleepy-eyed blinking or any
They probably
bullshit.
had a Gatorade, a little Gatorade break, get those electrolytes back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kahlan is clearly looking at him and then looking down at his dick and then looking at his face. And she's like, oh yeah, okay, cool. This bread tastes nice. Did you see there's mushrooms underneath there?
Yeah.
You want a mushroom? She's like, Anyways. She's annoyed. I can see both sides here because on one side, from Kahlan's side, she has been repressed for her whole life, being like, you can't do this. You will murder, ruin a man if you do this, and you better, whatever. She finds a guy she can finally do it with. He's done it with other people during this time period, and she just wants to do it. And they're alone, and they don't get to be, like you said, they don't get to be alone very often. So, let's fucking get it done, man, while we can. On Richard's side, we've been doing it.
Babe, we've done it a few times, okay? I'm not saying we haven't done it a few times. We can do it more, but also, I'm sore.
I haven't seen my grandpa, who I didn't know who was my grandpa, for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? So, there's other shit going on. So I do see both sides here, but it is, personally see myself more in Kahlan. Motherfucker.
You can definitely see why she's excited. We're finally able to do the thing. Let's do the thing as much as we can. But it's also a little funny because, technically, look, they've fucked already before, right? In the spirit world. So there is that. But then also, it does kind of show maybe a little bit that Kahlan doesn't quite understand that Richard might need a minute.
Yeah.
Between sessions, I'm talking. Give me 10 minutes in a water break at least. But she just wants more. It is great to me to see the one who is supposed to remain pure not wanting to be fucking pure. She's like, everybody is still a human being and they need to come. It's good for you.
I do want to say, to Kahlan's, credit, the first time that she did do it with Richard in the real world when she actually thought it was Dreffin. So, she did get, he got to experience that as what it was, but she didn't. So that was kind of cheap for her. But also, they did it twice in, quick succession. So, from her again, she doesn't have any knowledge. Like,
That's
you
true.
need some recharge.
It is also canon
set a
that
bad
Richard
precedent.
never tires.
Yeah.
So there is that. The penis is mystical.
The sword is strong.
Oh my God. Richard can never get whiskey dick.
Because he doesn't drink?
It's the power of need, right? So then when it happens, when it inevitably happens, he could go, I just needed to work this one time, and
the
then
first
bam,
episode,
he's good to go.
We are coming out. So Terry did this to us. This is not our fault.
Yeah, this is look. This is Horny Terry's fault.
It hasn't been said yet. Thank you. This is 100% hoary.
Jesus.
I can't talk. I'm all flustered.
Yeah.
This is 100% horny Terry.
Yeah. Well, and what's worse is it's not full Horny Terry. This is aftermath Horny Terry. Well, this is Horny Terry wanting to be horny, and Richard's not letting him. Because Richard's a selfish lover.
I was going to say limp, but that's sad.
Distracted with food, I was going to say. This whole
I get that.
description has gone back and forth between Kahlan's all like, so how's it feel to have done it now? And Richard's like just eating food and like passing her food. And it's very intermixed. I think Terry may have been a food guy. Bring some strawberries and cream in. You know, why not?
I was gonna say, you think he's okay eating crackers in bed?
And I'm thinking like fruit for sure.
No, we were on two different pages. We were on two different pages.
Well, Kahlan gives Richard more shit about talking about his grandpa and being distracted from his wife. Like, you're so bored with your wife already. And then he interrupts her because he smells blood.
That is not good.
No, and weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like a vampire thing. Like, you shouldn't just like, I smell blood. Like, who does that?
Well, to me, if you can smell blood, that means that either two things. One, vampire. Obviously, that would be first thing. But two, that either means there's a little blood very close to us, or there's a lot of blood.
Yeah.
And
or you're a shark.
Or you're a shark. Okay, so there's three things.
Vampire, shark, or one of us
or
is
there
bleeding.
is blood. Yeah. A
little close or a lot far away.
Yeah.
Or,
Which
or
either
you're just
way
fucking weird.
would be concerning. And I kind of figured that Kahlan might be able to also smell, but it doesn't seem like it.
No, she's not worried at all. She's like, motherfucker, calm down.
There is one thing on her mind. One hard,
she's
long.
Like, you know who's not bleeding? Me. Okay? That's all that matters here. But Richard is on point. He's like a German Shepherd at this point, but he has no sword.
Do you think Kahlan said, come on, Richard, crack this book in half?
Yeah. Crack something in half, motherfucker. But
yeah, and again, Richard with no sword.
Yeah.
So we start book 1, Richard doesn't have his knife. We've come full circle. Book 5, he doesn't have a sword.
That's right, no sword.
Richard.
Because it was so important to go through the sliff to get married that they had to leave the sword. Which, I understand, it was supposed to be a quick little thing, right? But also, maybe we could have just gotten married in, like, the chapel? Quietly?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Anyways, they calm down, and they start just chat, like having a nice little moment, and Kahlan's like, what's it like being married to the mother confessor, Richard? And he's like, wonderful, inspiring, romantic things I'm saying to you. And then he goes, what's it like being married to me? And she says, sticky.
I'm sorry. That is the best fucking line.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it right now.
Yeah.
In the series.
Wow. Well, coming out strong, book 5.
Look, okay, you got Zed with Abby saying, I have a bone. And he's like, doesn't everybody? That's fucking close.
That's
right?
Yeah.
But if we're comparing the two, Kahlan, sticky. She fucking nailed it.
No follow-ups.
But the thing is, not sticky enough, Richard.
Yeah. Make it stickier.
Yeah.
As much as they don't want to leave the spirit house, Zed and Anne want to hear all about everything that's happened. There's probably no better people to get advice from at this point. We've come 5 fucking books without you having a sit-down conversation with these people that are, like, way smarter than you, and, like, let's get some shit on the table and have a conversation, right? That should happen.
Yeah. And I mean, it's true. I mean, of all the people that we know of in this world, Zed and Ann are two pretty good people to have on your table of counselors.
Well, Zed's the only fucking wizard left, right? He's the first wizard and like one of the only ones that we fucking know about, other than the bullshit ones from the Palace of the Prophets that aren't even full fucking wizards, but now they have to be.
And guess who knows all about them? Anne.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is great. Like, that's where, like, I see Richard's, and I think that's Kahlan's thing. Like, Kahlan knows as soon as they leave the tent, they're done.
Yeah.
You know, and Richard's like, hey, the tent's been fun, but like, there is a lot of stuff outside the tent that we do need to get to. And now it's blood. Like, I am smelling blood. Maybe we get back to a palace, so to speak, and then do it in a king size bed
at our next available opportunity.
Yeah, you got to break
but
everything.
For right now, one of the details about the wedding, though, is that they had just united Dahara and the Midlands officially.
That's true too.
So on top of all of the other stuff that they've got to figure out, they're also like the two rulers of a new empire.
Yeah, huge,
and also
major.
probably have other shit to do regarding that.
I do want to say, though, to what you just said about Kahlan knowing that once they leave the tent, they're done. I feel like there is a lot of that. Like, they haven't gotten a chance to be alone. Every time they've tried to be alone prior to this, they've gotten interrupted. This might, you would hope not, right? You'd hope tonight, when they go to bed, they'll be together and able to fuck again.
Yeah.
But prior history in this book series has let us know that maybe this is their only fucking chance. To actually enjoy it, so let's fucking enjoy it. So
that's why I'm on Kahlan's side.
Yeah,
I
you
definitely
have
see
to be.
it though. Yeah, it's like, no, we can never leave.
Yeah,
because like, hey, we'll be able to like, a little afternoon delight here, a little morning surprise here, but like all night, that ain't happening again soon.
No.
Okay, they're probably gonna have some other. We know something's gonna happen as soon as they walk out of the fucking tent. We know something's gonna happen. It's Richard and Kahlan.
Yeah.
Every other book, something always immediately happens. So
and we
chapter
smell
1 is very chill so far.
Yeah. Okay, Kahlan has decided we will leave, but I'm sticky. So
yeah.
I need to go take a bath. It is a little over an hour walk, but we can do that real quick first, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, this is not optional, especially the morning after marriage. You need to clean.
Yeah.
You can't go out into public like that.
It's your honeymoon. You did some of the freaky stuff. You should probably get cleaned up.
You're real dirty.
I mean,
and that's fine.
It would be a little bit of a statement to go out there, just being like, look, that's what we did.
Both Kahlan and Richard's hair just sticking straight up on one side.
You get as long as you can stand in the stench.
They're gonna pull a Zed.
And then
Birdman, do you want to talk to us right now? Really? Get a little closer. You sure you want to talk to us right now?
Yeah, you smell that? We're about to go back and do more of that. You want to keep thinking about that?
They're pulling a Zed. Look, I don't want you in my house. You wanted to be in my house, i.e., I didn't fucking clean for you. So if you want it now, this is what you're getting.
This is what you're getting.
Also, I'm going to take my pants off.
Yeah. This is my house now.
I will say, 2 hours plus bath time does seem like a significant chunk of your day.
If I know that that's in front of me, I'm saying I have plans all day.
Yeah. Yeah, we're busy.
3 hours of something? 3 hours of something?
That's what I was thinking.
Minimum?
Yeah.
I'm busy that day. There's no plans post or after. That's it.
That's where my thing was. I was like, oh, we're going to go have serious talks for a while. I don't know, man. I feel like as Zed, I would be fucking annoyed as hell.
I was just gonna say, as if they can't just turn to literally anybody, because again, they are emperor and empress.
Yeah.
Hey, get us a bath.
Yeah,
we know it's mud people and you guys use the river and everything, but just give me a fucking tub. Let's heat some water up. Let's do this. I'm your emperor. I can get a bath.
I mean, I do think I like that they're appreciating the local culture, because that is one of my things with Richard and Kahlan and the Mud People is they kind of just say, Hey,
when in Rome kind of a thing.
I don't really give a fuck about your traditions. I need you to call a gathering right now.
They go the
No
opposite
feast.
way.
Nope. No party. You're going to do the thing that you have a clear set thing for right now without any of it. So like, hey, walk down to the local pond. Take a bath. They're not your servants. They're your people.
I almost feel, though, that this isn't the only way to get clean and that this is just a place Kahlan knows that's a nice place to go get a secret bath.
Yeah, really, she just wants to spend more time with him.
Right. So,
I was assuming this was a private oasis where all of a sudden it's like, oh no, it's just us two.
No, I think it
together.
is. Yes.
That's
but I
what she's
think
hoping.
in that vein, I think we might be able to pump water from the well over here, and we could get you a bath in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you want it.
Oh, yeah. It's actually not an inconvenience at all, but Kahlan's like, no, we gotta go an hour into the woods.
Yeah, this isn't like the culture. This is just Kahlan being like, let's go take a stroll.
Okay, I'm back in. Again, I'm back on Kahlan's side.
Yeah, I agree, but also, don't you feel like it's too big of a swing? Like, look, Kahlan, maybe an hour. We can get away with an hour.
Look, if you're 30 minutes there,
it's
30
an hour
back.
and a half walk there, an hour and a half walk back, plus the bath, and we're probably going to be fooling around a little bit.
He's going to be washing his back or whatever he wants.
So we're talking a real cool 3-4 hours.
Oh yeah.
I'm with Richard. Like I want to. We should. Let's. But also, we can't take that much fucking time.
Like maybe we do a quick a quick wipe here, and then later, like we go to have our conversations later tonight.
Yeah.
Before it gets too dark, we go take a stroll after we're done.
It's really just too bad there's not some sort of like
Moonlit
for our main characters a pretty I'm gonna get this. For our main characters, it's too bad there is not a fairly reasonable long distance communication method that they could have in their possessions right now and don't. Journey books exist. You can take a bath and talk to Zed at the same time. That is possible.
They don't want to talk to him while they're taking that bath.
Richard
He's
does.
gonna be washing his whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying it wouldn't be a little freaky.
The handwriting would be totally illegible. Let's be real.
Every fourth or fifth word's not quite legible.
Zed finally writes back like, dude, just fucking take your 10 minutes or whatever and get back to me when you're done.
Well, before they leave the spirit house, Richard does turn to Kahlan and he asks what the deal with Anne and Zed last night was. And Kahlan's like, yeah, they were kind of wigged out about the chimes or whatever. And Richard says, not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know?
They said they'd take care of it. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Just like us taking a break right now is going to be fine for everybody.
That
and
does
then we'll be
sound
back
fine.
right after this. And we are back as they pack up their shit to head out. Is that good? You like that?
I'm not planning on talking. I'm just, you do that for the rest.
No.
We got tunes for the ride as far as I'm concerned. Go Jade.
Well, Kahlan is joking about making the event of the bath that she will be making. And they decide not to tell Zed they are leaving or they're not going to fucking leave. Because that's just how that shit goes.
Zed's being too persistent at this point. The second they're out of this room, he's going to have a lock on him. So they got to sneak.
Well, I feel like it's like a lot of us when we talk to our parents, right? You're like, I just got to tell them one thing. I'm just going to real quick, just tell them that one thing. And then they're going to be like, oh, I forgot. I was going to tell you that one thing. And then they tell you like 17 things that you did not need to fucking know about their day. And you're there for 4 hours.
I just want to clarify that I can fully sympathize with this thought process. Because as some people may know, there's many a time when I tell people I'm going to be somewhere at a certain time. And then I say something to a mother/father and or both or no, well, usually one or the other. Neither would be weird. And then I'm usually, sometimes, maybe, roughly 15 minutes late to things. And I'm just saying, you guys seem very sympathetic to that right now. Not you guys. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said you guys. I just, just a general thing.
Asking
of like,
for
hey,
a friend.
Sometimes you have intention to leave, but the deed of leaving doesn't happen on time.
I do understand that. Yeah, because the simple statement of, "Hey, I'm taking off. I'll be back later," can lead to
I'll pick up milk on the way home.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, face palmed. We're done. That's a 20-minute conversation that just started.
I should have texted.
But I digress.
It is sweet that Richard and Kahlan acknowledge that they just want to take this extra time together, even though they want, like, Richard and Zed need to have this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that we were bitching about it taking 3 hours, they acknowledge that that's dumb.
That it's a little too much.
They just want to spend the time together because they don't get to do that very often. Which, okay, fuck yeah, go do that. Go fuck in the fucking river. That's fine. Go do that right now.
Yeah, you know what happens if they're in Aidendrill and they're just casually holding hands, walking through a palace, through a tower, through the city? Oh, they're getting stopped and talked to by a bunch of people. Do you know what happens?
Yeah.
If they walk hand in hand into the woods? Probably not going to stop and talk to too many people.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't get stopped by too many people. Just let the newlyweds hold fucking hands and walk in the woods together, okay?
Yeah. Richard's got that raptor gaze, so if anybody were to follow him, like, hey, what are you guys doing? He would only need to turn his head and then be like, oh, yeah, fuck, I got it. I'm sorry.
You know what they call me here? Richard with the temper. Motherfucker. Okay, so the village is deserted around the spirit house. There's communal buildings. There's no residential homes nearby. Also, no guards close by. So when they come out the door, Richard does a really quick 360 raptor gaze once they're out of the door.
See?
Yeah. And sees a bloody, dead chicken corpse laying there.
Ooh.
And that's the end of our chapter.
I've always said this, okay? You go back and listen to those other episodes 3 or 4 times, and you'll hear me say it 3 or 4 times each episode. Not enough people ask themselves, what's beheading the chickens? This is a serious issue now, okay? You should not just find beheaded chickens. That's not okay.
It was eviscerated.
There's not that many aminals?
Aminals
wow.
is perfectly fine to say at this house.
There are not many aminals that just straight up behead chickens. Usually, they eat them all or most of the way. This should be an issue.
It is a little weird to me because earlier in the chapter, they were talking about how they don't really use wood for their fire because wood is a very precious and rare commodity, being that they live in the mudlands. So yeah, I said that weird. I saw your head tilt and I was like, yes, it was bad. I'm sorry.
Nate, mudlands, totally okay to say in this house.
Fuck, what was I saying? Oh yeah, no, they use grass like bound up in tight little rolls to keep their fires going. So in a community where certain resources are rare, you're not going to find a just beheaded chicken laying out anywhere. No, people are going to use that. They're going to cook it. They're going to whatever with it. But you're not going to find just a chicken wasted laying on the ground unless there's something seriously wrong with it. Then we're back to what the fuck.
Well, and maybe wild animals, but usually they don't come into I would think they don't come into the village. I mean, I know this is an abandoned part of the village, but I would assume that they typically aren't coming this close.
Normally, it's like the prey animals that will get accustomed to people and be okay wandering in. Predators don't want to do that so much.
Yeah.
Predators will stay away from all the loud noises, even when they're quiet for a little while. They know the area is not okay to go into.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Richard as a woods guide is definitely, he's for sure not just gonna not do anything about this. Okay, chapter 2 is gonna clearly be a deep dive detective episode into what killed this chicken. It's not gonna drive me crazy that it doesn't do that either. Oh, it's gonna be great. Anyway,
good
what's up?
Times.
I blacked out for a second. I blacked out a little bit.
It's good to be back.
I will say, it is just wild that we find out it is a singular dead chicken.
Yeah.
And our titular hero was able to sniff that motherfucker out inside the fucking spirit house while he and his wife are covered in sweat and cum. And there's tava bread and mushrooms and peppers. There's all these other things.
Smelly things.
Smelly things.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker is like, little tiny bit of chicken blood. They're not cooking dinner. That's wild.
And
But
also,
he is
well,
Richard.
for it to be that bloody and for him to smell it, that's clearly got to be a recent kill. Like, that had to have just happened. Otherwise, the blood's been there for a while.
I think
that would
that's-
waft into the air and be less strong as it goes.
Well, that's part of the problem, right? Is
Yeah.
because there are no guards right near the spirit house, but there are guards guarding the spirit house. They got a whole ring of them motherfuckers. Nobody's getting in there, which is why this is confusing. So now a predatory animal came in, killed this chicken right here, and nobody noticed? That's weird.
But, and yeah, it probably was recent because he heard the noises. The chickens were being bothered. Then he smelled the blood.
Yeah.
So we were probably present for the death of this chicken.
And he smelled the blood over all the stank that he's letting out by
Yeah.
opening up that door.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to say that was the end of the chapter.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
we're gonna
yeah.
get in now. We're now moving into our wizard's notes and prophecies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So any final thoughts you had about the chapter or future thoughts? This is where we can air all that bullshit out.
I'm definitely assuming there's going to be more about the chicken. I did do some research into animals that would just straight up behead a chicken. There are some that
Really?
have been known to just eat the heads of chickens or to just behead them because, as best as people can tell, like people that study small animals that may or may not behead chickens are doing it for fun.
What?
Yeah, raccoons.
Mm.
They've observed, like scientists, biologists have observed raccoons just like pulling chickens' heads off.
Whoa, I did not expect that.
Yeah, like they will say they will grab a chicken through a fence and just pull until the head
Through
rips
a-
off.
Oh
Yeah.
That's fucking.
Yeah. The other main one is an owl. Owls will just swoop down and they're only interested in the nutrients that are like
In the
brain
head.
related.
I was going to say,
but that's more of a clean cut.
when Puck catches a mouse, typically we find just the body because
Yeah.
cats will eat the head because that's where all the calories are. So
Yeah.
that concept makes sense to me.
Yeah, yeah.
But holy fuck, a raccoon
yeah,
will reach through like a chain link fence.
Those
yeah,
cute
like
little
it,
trash
it
pandas.
waits on the fence because raccoons could climb. They could go over the fence. No,
Yeah.
no. They're observed waiting until a chicken gets close enough that they can just grab it.
And then they don't eat it or nothing?
No, they'll eat the head, but like not all the time. Like there's time where they'll just rip the chicken's
That-
heads off and then walk away.
That's what got me fucked
Yeah,
up. It was like,
yeah.
just for fun. They just rip the head off
Yeah.
and go, well, that was cool. Now I'm going to go find something to
Yeah.
eat.
So there is reasonable explanations for what could just behead a chicken. And clearly it's, we're going to go into that next chapter. That's my prophecy for next chapter.
I think it was Richard's post-nut clarity. It was so sharp that it could behead a chicken.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I think it really, if anything, it tells us one thing, and it's that Richard is part shark.
I just, chickens have pretty sharp little fucking talons. Maybe it just looked at the other chicken
Oh, yeah. This
fucking
is
wrong.
chicken on chicken crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like, fuck you, Betty. You ain't gonna look at me like that.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to look inside the house, not
Fuck
outside.
you.
Yeah. There was no B&E.
You're not gonna sit over there and cluck at me all fucking night.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know that thing was clucking with
Yeah.
attitude, too.
Yeah.
Did you just say
snarky.
cluck you?
Yeah, I did.
Well, the chicken said cluck you.
Oh, of course.
To
Yeah.
Betty. I don't know if you heard. Betty's
Yeah.
kind of a bitch. I hope we meet Betty next episode.
We'll see. We'll see.
I think Betty's the dead chicken.
Betty's
Oh,
dead. Yeah.
damn.
Betty's dead,
Next
baby.
episode,
Betty's dead.
Betty's dead. Well, that's our truth. And we would love to hear yours. Write to us in your journey books to podcastatt@gmail.com or find us on any of our social medias. If you would like to support this podcast and hear some more silky smooth content, find us over on patreon.com/podcastatt, where every tier is a happy tier. That's all for us, friends. Bye.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you real soon.
Betty's dead.